Hello and welcome. I'm your host Elizibar, and this is Hammerella, Thundersmoke. For the longest time, for whatever reason, I misread that as Thunderstroke, and I don't know if this is like a Berenstain Bear thing, and I somehow transitioned to the wrong universe where the book is named differently, but regardless, I have the book. I actually had it for, I think, going on 3 months now, and I didn't read it until just the other night. And if you were on my stream yesterday, you probably heard me say some good things about it. And I'm going to say nothing but good things about this book because it was fantastic. I loved it. It's better than Gods and Gears, which I enjoyed most of. We do need to address the elephant in the room, which is this book was late. This book is 2 years late. It's supposed to have shipped in March of 2021, and I got it in March of 2023. It's 2 years. At some point, I had made a Red Rooster Delivery Date Club video for it, like "Welcome to the club," and that's kind of mean of me. I'm not gonna lie, and I gotta say, like, it was probably unfair of me because I really should reserve those for books that I don't actually expect to ever get. So Ryan Wynn, if you're out there and you're watching this and you saw that video and it hurt your feelings or something like that, that's not really my intention with those videos. That's kind of like I'm expressing my frustration. So it's that video is really made for me, and I really shouldn't put them on the internet, I guess. But what's done is done, and I apologize for that. The cover is really cool. It's got this bold red circle and the yellow on top of it. Her skin, like everything about this looks great. The hammer with the power coming out of it looks really cool. It's actually a wraparound cover. And I guess one of the things I want to say is Ryan Wynn, in the midst of whatever was going on that made this book be delayed, and I think part of it was length, because I think this was supposed to be like a 40 pager, and it turned into like an 80 pager. Like this book is a lot thicker than what I thought it was going to be. He did do me one super solid favor. I backed it twice, once for the book, and then once for the sketch card. And the actual sketch card has little touches of color on Spider Jerusalem's lenses there. The sketch card was a gift for a friend who was going through a really rough patch, and he's still kind of in a rough patch because life gets crazy. But that gift, that card arrived as a gift for him. And I think it did him some good, kind of a reminder of good things. Anyway, I digress. We got to get on with the book. Like, we're 3 minutes into this thing, and all I've talked about is the cover. And here's one of the things that kind of shames me. Put a freaking great little mark right there, and I'm just, all right, so the framing story is we got our homeboys here. They were racing. Stuff happened. They didn't win their race, and so they're sitting around the campfire. And they're gonna hear a story. They're the framing narrative, right there. These little homeboys, and so they pop up every once in a while, but they're not the main story. The main story is the story she's telling. She's right off page, right there, which is about Hammerella. So Hammerella is the last survivor of her people, and she is trapped on the world her people go to, basically to like test their might. And on that world, they have to compete against various kinds of creatures. And there's this big spider dude named Umbra that kind of moves into the role of mentor for her, trying to unlock her powers so that she gets like the super cosmic whatevers. And so this whole book is kind of her coming of age journey as she's moving forward to those powers. You can kind of see where this is going, right? Like you see where the crescendo has to be of the story. It's exactly where you think it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. So here she is, like escaping being chased by one of the monsters here, who kidnapped her, tried to feed her to her kid, to the monster's eggs, the little hatchlings up there, and then she's getting out of dodge, and the monster's chasing her. And so that's what her childhood is like, right there. Over and over again in her life, she's running and dealing with all these crazy monsters. And she's trying to level up as she's going, because that's what her people do. Cool, little coming of age story. Surely it can't be that long, right? You could tell that story in 20 to 40 pages. Yeah, but we get a much bigger scope. After we get a little background, which I gotta admit, there's a couple places in this book where I just kind of my eyes glazed over, and I just kind of stopped paying a whole lot of attention, and this 2-page spread was one of them. And I really shouldn't have because there was a lot of backstory here that I kind of needed to understand some of the other stuff. But basically, that's our hero's mom. That's her dad. And her dad is kind of like the irresponsible son or grandson of the empire, evil empire or something. And so the evil emperor dude came and killed her whole family while she was off on the other world powering up. Got it? Got it. There she is training right there with the big spider dude, Umbra. Like, pew, with eye lasers. The book is just full of absolute fun stuff like this. Now, there's places where maybe you could like start arguing like, "Oh, the art's not super detailed" or whatever, but I thought the book was just like pretty gorgeous all the way through. Now, that's like the setup to the story. What goes after that is we got these space heroes who are fighting an evil space empire, and they're warping through space, and they end up on her planet in the underworld where the spider, well, I don't know if it's the underworld, but in the volcano secret lair where the spider guy lives, where Hammerella lives, and so she gets tangled up in that. And so she ends up hanging out with them. She follows the ship through portals. She ends up in their world where they're trying to like smuggle this artifact somewhere, uh, keeping it safe from the evil robot dudes. You can check them out right there. They look super cool. This page, when I first saw it, I was like, dude, that's great. And she gets mixed up in all kinds of crazy battles. They save lives. There's the little ships, and there she is flying in formation with them. So her hammer, all that gives her like power. She doesn't like getting dressed up, of course. And I wanna, ooh, hey, that's a good one right there. I'm showing so much of this book because there's so much of this book that I just want to show you. Here we go. This is one of my favorite bits from the entire book. It's something that happens on two separate pages. So it's on the left-hand page, then we flip over and it's on the left-hand page again. All right? So here are the bad guys getting ready, right? They're flying in, they're getting ready for a big fight. Because the heroes have ended up on this ship that's like a pacifist ship where this dude who's the captain is like the only real soldier guy on it. And I guess he's got like, I don't know if they're automated ships or whatever, but does have some defenses, but they don't have any guns on the ship. It's just like fighters. And so they got to fight these dudes. So here they're coming in. You got like some worry. And then here you have the heroes getting ready. So Hammerella and her homies, they're getting ready to launch. And instead of like this desperate look of worry over there, how can we be of service, sir? We got boom, they're launching. I love this. I love the fact that it's the same kind of thing. Like there's like a mirroring right there, right? The only thing that might have been more effective is if this stuff had been immediately opposite, and you could just go boom, boom, and you've got two things that, like directly mirroring, but having the same thing show up in the same place, I thought was pretty cool. I don't even know if that was intentional. Lots of cool combat with great looking colors. That's one thing that Gods and Gears had going for it was a lot of great color work. Here we've got a lot of great color work. I think the paper stock somehow, maybe it's the saturation on the paper stock, doesn't quite do it as much justice as it could have had done, but it looks great. The book looks great. It reads great. I had an absolute blast going through this book. I mean, look at this, man. We got combat on. Once we get to a certain point, it's just fighting all the way through as she's like powering up, watching stuff happen, fighting for justice, being great. The only weak spot of the book is maybe a little bit of the dialogue. Like I said in that one section where we're getting a bunch of backstory dumped on us, I kind of zoned out a little bit. But once the story really picks up and we get past that initial like backloading of backstory, it doesn't stop. It just grabs you and it just takes you for a ride. Hammerella was a ton of fun. Congratulations to Ryan Wynn for putting this out because the book really good. I'm not sure like what all the backstory for drama and all that is between him and other people. Frankly, it's not my business, and I'm not going to dig into it or anything. But all I do know is I had a blast reading this book, and I don't know if he's got more of these for sale. He probably does. If you at all liked Gods and Gears, if you like Voltron, if you like cool stories where heroes are being heroic, this is your book. You should just buy this. I can definitely recommend it. You know, I'm going to just go do a thumbs up right here on stream so you know how much I liked it. Uh, absolute blast. Absolute blast. You all take care of yourselves, and bye bye.